We are privileged to be joined by Senator Joe Lieberman, who is joining us in studio, which is nice. Very good to see you. I want to talk about the cover piece. The December issue of Newsmax magazine features John McCain on the cover.
Right.
The story was written by a guy that you might know pretty well, Joe Lieberman.
Oh yeah.
And
whatever happened to him?
Yeah.
I mean Lieberman.
A Lieberman guy? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, but the two of you do have a long relationship, which you talk about in the piece.
Right.
You know, and in the break we were talking, Nan was talking about, it was a shame, because she and I both, to be honest, would kind of hope that you would be the vice presidential candidate for John McCain, which was just not destined to be.
Yeah.
But good news today, the senator's back in Arizona. He says he's feeling very well.
Right.
Doesn't think he's going to make it back in time to make any votes.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit. Tell our viewers a little bit about this man you've known for quite a while now.
Well, you know, I consider it one of the blessings of my life, not just the time in the Senate, that I became a friend of John McCain's. I mean, this is an extraordinary individual, principled, heroic, patriotic, compassionate. I mean, I don't mean to make him into a saint. He's not a saint. Right. He'd be the first person to tell you that.
I've interviewed him. He's really cranky. I can tell
he can be cranky. Yeah, John doesn't like too much praise. So I've been with him where people say, what a war hero, what an honor to meet you. He said, I don't know what kind of war hero I was. All I did was fly my plane into a missile. You know, that's McCain. So I was honored that the people at Newsmax asked me to write that article. We became friends early on after I came to the Senate. We began to work particularly on foreign and defense policy. We traveled to a lot of places around the world. One thing that John is really committed to, and I was glad to see a section on this in President Trump's national security strategy, we're all about our values. We're about freedom. We're about human rights. And President Trump says that in the document today. And that's John. I mean, anywhere we'd go into a country to meet the president, and he'd be dictatorial, but then we would always ask the embassy, American embassy, we'd like to meet the opposition too, and they'd bring them to the embassy, and we meet them and encourage them that they had rights to make their case, et cetera, et cetera. I could tell you stories. One time we were in Myanmar, Burma, and we were meeting the great leader Aung San Suu Kyi, and she brought in 3 young men, probably in their 20s. They looked awful. They were beaten, bruised. They had just been let go from jail. They were political prisoners because they had been opposing the regime. And when she introduced them to John McCain, they were just startled, and they said, because John had made a statement on their behalf while they were in jail. He had heard about them somehow, and they said it sustained them. It kept them through all the brutality that they faced. I mean, I could tell you stories, but he has always been a great representative of America because he represents our values, and you know, a great devoted to the American military, loves our troops. We just John said to me once as I left the Senate, you know, you and I have had a chance to go to places that billionaires couldn't go to. I said, yeah, most of them were battlefields, John, and maybe they wouldn't want to go.
Exactly.
But always, just a great guy. I could tell you so much about him. People don't know this. He's a great reader, reads history, very important for a leader, reads fiction. He's probably read some of the Hemingway novels 10 times. I mean, just, you know, loves them. So, and a great sense of humor, funny. We've had a lot of good times together, and with God's help, we'll have a lot more too. He's doing better this week. I talked to him today.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, and he's doing better. He got hit, you know, Dr. Nan knows this. Yeah. The treatment for this cancer lowers your immune system, so he got a viral infection, and he was really uncomfortable last week. But he's bounced back now. I'm so glad he's in Arizona. They don't need his vote. People know that he would have voted for the tax cut. And he's not, you know, the problem with John, you leave him in Washington, he's going to want to get out of bed and go to vote. And it's not the good idea for him. So better than he's out in his beloved Arizona.
No, it truly is. That's great. I was going to ask if you'd spoken with him, so it's nice to get an update on him. He said he says he's doing well. He seems to be doing well. for a person suffering from brain cancer.
Yeah.
So that's good news.
Yeah, I mean, he's a realist, so he knows that he's got a serious battle on his hands. But you know, he's faced great challenges before. His will is driving him forward, and he's got as good treatment as you could find anywhere in the country. So we're all praying for him, and he's doing everything he can do to make sure he's with us for a long time to come.